This is actually a pilot. Uh, I guess a practice run for something I would like to call the flip side, where we flip the scripts for entertainment purposes only. I greatly implore you to like, subscribe, and share. What we'll do is we'll take a topic that is familiar with everyone. We'll look at the most accepted definition or explanation or consensus of that, and then we'll flip it. So that's the whole point of this, and I'll try to do it on a weekly basis because a lot of things I just find interesting, and it's good to know what other people think about it. So if you see this video, you have anything to say, please leave it in the comment, good or bad. I'm open to all criticism. Please, like I said, like and share. This is the flip side, where we flip the script. So it's been called one of the oldest professions in the world. It's prostitution. According to the dictionary, prostitution basically it's summed up to be performing a sexual act for money. So that will basically be prostitution. It says it's the oldest profession in the world. It was in biblical times. They said it was probably before biblical time. A lot of pagans had what we would call orgies. It even extended into just religious practices. I don't know where it was shamed on first. I know, the Bible says that there was a prostitute and they were going to stone her. So, from as far as we can remember, there were two different perspectives about it because there's a there's a documented case where rulers and kings and they had secret doors to come in to these these ancient brothels to have sex with the women because they didn't want to be seen participating in such acts because it would definitely damage whatever career or character that they had. So from the beginning, there was mixed views. Of course, if you're in it, you're not going to feel as bad about it. I always wondered, how does a prostitute remove their feelings from the sexual acts and do it over and over and over and over again? And like everything else, if the motivation is there, then you could probably do it. So just speaking on that, try to get there's no way to define the origin. So um, what what we definitely know is that they came from ancient Greek civilizations, Mesopotamia, um, Rome, and it's documented. I would sure like to find the original documents to this, but it's documented that they participated in these sexual acts, and of course Sodom and Gomorrah was burned down for illicit sexual acts. So there's a Netflix series about some warriors. I don't know if they were Spartans, but they were warriors. They were men, but they were dealing with that. That wasn't prostitution, but they were gay men. So these things aren't brand new. There's nothing new under the sun. But like many things that we encounter, it's going to be frowned upon by one faction, and it's going to be accepted and dealt with by another faction. So I imagine in the old days, whether it's biblical or pre-biblical, if you have a religious mindset, and I usually refer to religion, you can connect rules, etiquette, behavior. Those things are associated with religion. So you're not going to be able to do or say or act certain things that be still looked at. So I'm sure now that the Bible does talk about Rahab, and I believe they call her a harlot, which is the same as a prostitute who actually helped the spies. I believe she lowered them down in a basket over the wall, and she hit them. So the Bible mentions her. I don't want to say celebrate it, but it did. It didn't celebrate anyway. It did. It just mentioned her. The Bible does that. It's like Luke the doctor or Paul the Baptist or Jesus the Messiah. It was. I guess it was important to Mary Magdalene. It's important to. That's how they identify with each other. I'm assuming it was important. So that off the top of my head, that's the only that Rahab and the harlot that was to be stoned, and Jesus helped. And he forgave her, of course, that we're talking about Jesus Christ. So it said, he is without sin, cast the first stone. I mean, well, she was caught in the act, but I'm going to read exactly what came from the internet. It says, prostitution is one of the oldest professions with records dating back thousands of years. It's difficult to pinpoint the exact age, but ancient civilizations such as Greek and Rome documented forms of sex work. The practice has evolved over time, influenced by various cultures. Prostitution is generally understood as the exchange of sex or sexual activities for money, goods, or services. Laws and society views on prostitution vary widely around the world. Right, so I believe I was watching 60 Minutes, and someone like Amsterdam, like they were walking down the street, and there were prostitutes, like in the mirror, like you were looking at clothes. They were and trying to invite you in. So of course, it's going to be frowned upon by probably society. Most of the society is going to frown on it. Growing up, I couldn't wait to go in the strip club. Yeah, as a man, I wanted to see naked women. I couldn't wait to go in the strip club. It was not what I thought it was. I thought that, I looked at it as like it was going to be an orgy. I was going to walk in, somebody was going to pick me and take me back to a room. That's not what it was. And there's like everything else, there's levels. So the world now knows about the $40 broad, and you give her $40, and that's not happening. Not no strip club, not no $40. A drink probably costs $40, but so we know that, and it's documented that selling sex or prostitution, they say it's the oldest person in the world. We know this document that it was happening back then. I'm going to find this. I'm going to find out more how to put links in the bio so that you can find out where to find these things or where I found them. But there were pagan rituals that took place where men and women came together and on certain times of the year. And there was one interesting story that somewhere there was this thing held, and everyone knew that what was taking place. It was come there to trade for sexual purposes, but the prominent people didn't come in. They had a secret way to come in and leave. So that tells you even back then they protected. Today, I'm sure that politicians, police, movie stars, I'm sure they indulge. A lot of them get caught. I'm sure they indulge in prostitution. And if you get caught, in most places, you're going to be charged with a crime and possible jail time. So prostitution, I guess from a religious and somewhat societal viewpoint, is a bad thing. So if you flip it, then why are we allowed to create strip clubs because under the guise that you're not going to do it when you know, I'm not saying all strippers are sex workers, but in my mind, I've seen it. I know what it is, but so you allow strip clubs to become a business, and I'm sure they're getting taxed. So in that regard, so you're allowing prostitution, which you're not. You're going to turn an eye to that. You're going to say, no, that's not prostitution, that's dancing, and some people have a view on that, like it's a bad thing. So it looks like if you can make if the state or the government can profit, then they'll do it. It seems like the same with making weed legal. You know, they did the same thing with liquor. At one time, liquor was illegal. So from a moral standpoint, for one, and it doesn't matter, male or female, to exchange sexual acts or sex for anything, it's prostitution. From a religious standpoint, that's immoral, and it's a bad thing. So I was in a car and I was driving. I looked over and I saw what we call a streetwalker, prostitution. And she didn't. To be honest, she didn't look, too appealing. And I didn't say anything, but my attention was there. And the person I was with said that, yeah, that's crazy. I was like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. And he said, I thought he was talking about the description of the female. He said, yeah, I don't understand why the state can tell her what to do with her body. And I was like, well, that's kind of good. But I mean, I don't want to flip it, but I don't want to take it too far. But like, I didn't look at it like that. But it's like, you can have a gun, doesn't mean that you should be killing people. But like that, it's the same way with abortion and other things. So this is your body. You want to sell it to make money. But if you do it, and we find out, we're going to arrest you. So if you think about it, I'm not one for it. I've enjoyed strip clubs at a certain age. Right now, I'm not interested in sitting in the club throwing any money to strangers or indulging any fantasies, and I'm not interested in it. So my stand on it right now, and it's like nah. And it seems like there's always the same thing. It seems like, well, I have to strip to pay for school, and the lure to it is fast money. The lure to it is fast money. So if you sell your body, if you commit any sexual acts or sexual favors for money, it's against the law. It's considered prostitution. Now you flip it and say, I could either go to work at McDonald's, stand over a hot grill, deal with irate customers, deal with a a-hole boss or manager, deal with the crew, and make, I don't know, $15 an hour, and every 2 weeks bring home $600. Or I can go in this bar, I can dance, I can do a few sexual favors, and make $1,200 a night. It's a tough decision for some. And the people who don't do it are going to say, well, my morals are too high, my standards are too high, so I can never see myself in that light. the people who are doing it are probably looking at the other people and saying, well, you drive a bus and you make more money, you're in the credit union. You know what I mean? A lot of them do bad. If you don't have a vice, if you don't have some type of addiction, whether it be drugs or shopping or, if you don't have a vice, you're making $1,000 a day. That's a lot of money. And that's what I'm just speaking on strippers. I mean, call girls, you can say it's $300 for 30 minutes. And how often do you do it? I guess it's up to you. I never seen why. Why do I need a pimp? But maybe you need protection if you're in that field. Walking the streets, streetwalkers. And I've never had call girls or streetwalkers. I know that there's a big difference, and it's against the law. It's against the law. So morally, religiously, a faction of society says that you shouldn't do it. And if you do it and we catch you, you'll be penalized if you do it outside of our umbrella. Now, if you go in the club, we're going to turn the banner out because we know these clubs, the lap dances, these things are going to happen. They probably check them or half-ass check them. They probably do. Who knows? I don't know for sure those. But we know that politicians have been caught with prostitutes, call girls, movie stars, NBA players, rappers. There's an allure on that side. The Big Diddy trial, the Epstein trial. It's out there. It's still out there. They're still exchanging money. Maybe I think Epstein had this thing for younger girls. It's a big thing. But at the end of the day, this is it. Society and the lawmakers say that prostitution is wrong. If you do it and we catch you, we prosecute it. I'm going to find out why they call the people who pick them up off the street Johns. I'm assuming because John Doe and Jane Doe, I'm assuming that's it. But religious people will tell you, anyone who follows religion or adheres to a religion or a spiritual faction, they're going to tell you that it's wrong. So those are the two main, the lawmakers and the religions. I'll tell you that it's wrong. The people that are in the game who flip it, there's probably a lot of strippers who go to church, who give tithes. It's a crazy thing. So what he said, how can the government tell me what to do with my body? It's mine. You didn't give it to me. It was given to me by my parents, and this is what I decided to do with it. That's the government. But someone who has a godly mindset of nature may think different. Well, it's not my body, it's God's body. It's the temple of the Holy Spirit. Doing these things would, really cause turbulence in that. So it's obvious that it's still a lucrative profession. They ran down to Magic City. This is a big deal. The porn industry. It's probably $1 billion deal. It's probably $1 billion deal. And that's sex. You know what I mean? And they're getting paid for it. So ain't that prostitution? They're getting paid for it to have sex on film, and it's a big. I remember when I first started watching it. I think it wasn't Pornhub. It was something. It was a while ago. I remember before the internet. We had to get books and VHS tapes of Vanessa Del Rio. It was like nobody like Vanessa Del Rio. And then when the VHS tapes and stuff came out, it was this big lady. think her name was Big Mama Jama or something. She was just big, but she was real popular. She was real popular, like all over the magazines and everything. So sex sells. We know that. The commercials have sex in them. Like, Beyonce is in a drinking a soda, walking out of a laundromat. She has on little teeny, I guess, Levi shorts or something like that. But the commercial is like super sexy, and at the end they'll tell you, go get a Coke or buy this. So sex sells. But the end all be all is it's against the law. Lawmakers say that if you do it in a certain way, and we find out, you will be prosecuted. If you flip the script, some people realize, you never know. Maybe somebody can't read or fill out an application, or maybe someone doesn't have the mental faculties to perform in a day-to-day setting at a job. Maybe they're more comfortable on stage or hooked up in a hotel room, and there's a lot of danger. You hear about danger with that too, but I would imagine that the person that's doing it that way, taking random people offline, send them to a hotel room, there has to be a level of danger, of fear, because danger is evident. It's like it could be around any corner. It could be, encrypted into every message, and you wouldn't even know it. So we're going to say that, no, we can't say prostitution is necessary. That's the wrong thing. We're going to say that prostitution is definitely real. I think like a lot of other things, I think the lawmakers or the government or the powers that be, I think they turn the eye to certain stuff. And it's for money. I believe the world is based on power, man. Cash rules every day around me. Dream get the money, every dollar bill, y'all. We know that. And as long as there's money to be made, people are going to get into it, no matter what it is. If there's money to be made, people are going to get to it. So how wrong is it? Of course, I wouldn't want my daughter or son to be a prostitute in any way. I wouldn't even want my daughter to dance. It wouldn't matter how much money she bring home or she made. I personally think that line of work is not only degrading to yourself, but like to women, like and anyone you look around, they're idols that, especially in certain cities, California, Atlanta, Chicago, there's certain cities where they're idols. People leave their city to go there to become dancers. So we know that prostitution is real. We know that it's against the law. We know that people go to jail. Pimps go to jail for it too. But when you flip the script, how many people have changed their lives by indulging in that, by jumping in that lane, becoming successful? I mean, I don't know how successful porn stars are. I don't know, especially not now. I haven't indulged in that, but it was somebody named Jameson or something, Pinky and Cherokee. I know they're famous. Don't know how rich they are, but there are people that, if you listen to their stories, they were well off. I'm making $1,200 a day, and I'm working, 5 nights a week. And, you're booking special clients that, people with big dollars that's coming. So if that changes your life and changes the life of your children or your family, and it got you up out of there, how can you view it as wrong? The thing that changed your life or the lives of the people around you, how could you view it as wrong? And I believe that's why people do it. Now, I'd also probably think that the majority of the females and males that get into it have certain other issues. Could be abandonment issues. It could be self-esteem issues where once I start doing this, I became popular, and that popularity thing became addictive. I don't know. I do think I don't condone prostitution. I don't condone stripping. If a man works all week and instead of going home to his family and paying bills, he takes it to the strip clubs and he gives it to a stripper. Now, the stripper just made her money to take care of whatever she needs to take care of. But what about the family then? Whose fault is it? There's questions that can go on for ages about that, about this whole situation. Bottom line is, it's not going to stop. We know this is against the law. It's clear that in certain cases, the government or the powers that be will turn their eyes against it. We know that religiously or morally, it is not what is accepted. And you're always going to have an adversary. We know that when you flip the script, that anybody who's indulging in it is probably addictive to know that all I got to do is do this, that, and the third, and, it's cash money. Now, I don't know if they're taxing prostitution. I think it was Amsterdam. Are they taxing them? That would be crazy to me. If you're taxing prostitutes, that would just be crazy to me. If you're taxing prostitutes, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. So, like I said, this is for entertainment purposes only. You see the video, you don't like anything, the background, the beard, the glasses, the hats, whatever it is, please leave the comment, like it, share it, laugh at it, whatever. I hope that, I can open up a line of thought in your head, give you a little spark. That's what I do. The bottom line is, the flip side is where we flip the script. Prostitution, oldest profession in the world. It was practiced thousands and thousands of years ago by kings, religious leaders, paganists. This was normal life. There were towns where there was nothing but harlots. So if you wanted your name or reputation to be safe, you didn't go there. You didn't be seen there. But of course, we find our way around things. Society says it's wrong. Religious leaders say it's wrong. But the people inside of the lane look at it a different way. As long as you can make $1 out of it, it's going to make sense. Like, share, comment. Looking forward to hear from you.